Good day and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this isn't going to be the next part of the fleet issue or naval issue vessels. There are two more if I'm correct, and I want to actually save them for going through them with all the images of the ship. I do have notes on it and I can do most of it off camera, but not off camera, off screen without the ship in front of me. But I prefer to actually go through it with the visual of the ship in case I make a mistake. Okay, so let's go into the announcement of game maintenance this week. So they have issued the game maintenance, and the first thing that they've improved is the non official autopilot. So it won't automatically continue to the next action within a system. So for a lot of people, it was getting ambushed at weird locations in a system. So obviously, you can now stop that from happening when you online and you warp to a sector. The next one is I don't understand. Fix the issue out of the ITC market. Uh, I'm not sure which market the ITC market is, right? The skill compensation for players who fail to gain profits. So there were bugs in the skills originally in the start where people were gaining more SP than others, and some people are way ahead, some people are almost breaking T8. It doesn't make much sense why they should be breaking T8, but they reaching that level way too early. That's over 10 million, and they're gonna be reaching it by the end of next week, if I'm correct. Someone was bragging about it that they have something like 250 hours left to T8, and we were like, "Are you sure it's not T7?" And they said, "Yeah, they going tech level 8. They currently tech level 7," and we were like, "Wow, that's a very fast gain." It turns out that originally they used to get SP from doing the missions, and I don't see myself getting SP from the mission, so I most probably didn't benefit from that glitch in the game either. So that was one of the things that they proved. The next thing was improved AI's weapon logic, reducing the server load. Okay, so uh, I don't know if anybody has noticed this, but sometimes when you reach a gate and somebody else already engages in a quick fight there or trying to fight at a gate to hit the AFK player, you'll find that the weapons on the gate start firing, and if you cross the path, it's just gonna hit you instead of hitting whoever else, and it keeps hitting you. My shield's been taken down by it once or twice, but that's just the thing which I think they're fixing up. The AI on the stations and the gates, I think that's what they fixed up. I think people have complained that they've got destroyed by the gates when they haven't attacked anybody. um Okay, then they fixed the issue with the repackaged ventures being too big. So when the ship is repackaged, it probably was coming out to 2,000 or something cubic meters, and it's too large to transport. Increase the optimal range for sentry guns in low security systems. Okay, so sentry guns are those guns on the gates. So it looks like that AI weapon fixes for something else. I'm not sure. I think maybe it's the enemies. Uh, So, in low security systems, the Century guns have now got an increased range. So that means you can't play that little trick where you orbit the gate at 80 and you wait for someone to reach within range of you and you just blast them out of the sky and wait 5 minutes to go back in and pick up the loot. They must probably increase that range, so you have to take a further orbit, maybe something like 150, the warp distance from most objects. Okay, so that's it for this current maintenance. So overall, let's see what problems have been happening in the week. Uh, there have been glitches with the warp disruptors. It's massive. I don't know if it was since the last maintenance or it's just this maintenance, but warp disruptors have been devastating. Warp disruptors have had huge range. They've been overpowered. They've been activating on distances greater than the optimal range. They've been activating on wide angle orbits. They haven't been pulled off with warp stabilizers. They've honestly, it's a big mess on the warp disruptors at the moment. The way the enemies can use their energy drain is ridiculous. They can energy drain you from up to 80 k's away, and it actually does have effects on you, which is unfair because when we use energy drain, we can't do the same thing to an enemy vessel. Let's see what else was there. Uh, the skating enemies. I don't know if anybody has noticed it, but when enemies are in your bar in the top, and you'll find that some of the elites can actually skate 100 kilometers in less than 10 seconds, which makes the speed really ridiculous. Means they're moving at 10,000 meters per second, while you can't even reach that speed. So the fact that they can move that fast means that they can skate, and the fact that they aren't out of 200 k's distance and warping in makes the biggest difference to their whole situation. It's made it very difficult to take on the mission solo because fighting the elites at the moment, when you try to take on one, another one will just skate in your way and take the fire, or skate in the way and blast you and disrupt you. And the fact that their weapons don't disengage and have to relock when they do that skate makes it even worse for most players. So that was one of the things which I think they tried to fix with this whole weapon AI. Uh, let's see. Other than that, the problems. Okay, the automated sentry guns hitting players who haven't engaged in anything. They in autopilot mode and they get destroyed by a sentry gun. I don't think anybody has been destroyed, but I think they've been attacked. I was attacked by one of the days, and I know there was a fight going on at the gate when I passed through, but I don't know why I was hit. I didn't fire. I didn't engage anything. I just moved through to the next sector, and I noticed that my shield was halfway down. I had to activate my shield boost. Mm, then let's see what else do I know of that was going on. I'm not sure if it was a glitch in the game or whether it's meant to be this way, but a lot of enemies in the T8 encounters were running large weapons. And it wasn't just like one or two weapons in their setup, it was their whole setup by the looks of it, because they're doing damage on massive scales like their battleships. And when you loot them, you're only getting large loot from them. So looks like there was a little bit of a glitch on how much they can handle. They aren't being restricted like us. They have massive loading capacities, massive weapon capacities, and they're firing at us from ridiculous ranges. Because on a large laser cannon, you get 48, a large missile launcher, you get 64 kilometers. That's more than you can handle for most fights. And jumping into a fight with a 64-kilometer radius that you have to keep with your medium class vessel, it's impossible because you're going to get hit regardless. Okay, let's see. There was another thing. Um, Dead corporations. Yeah, that's something that I was just thinking about this morning. A lot of corporations have gone dead. And when I say the corporations have gone dead, I mean there are certain corporations on the servers that are totally empty. Example, my corporation used to have something like 40 people active at a time. Now we have less than six. And the ability to fleet with six people is very limited. Most of them are minors in our corporation. So, corps have been dying very fast all over the server. Once more, this is the result of that long autopilot time and the long movement patterns. Looks like they're going to have to try and speed up movement across the game. Looks like it's getting a bit of a negative feedback from the community in a way. Looks like people are jumping out because they're getting irritated with the wait time to get from sector to sector. And the reduced spawns on scouts and inquisitors is getting a bit heavy. Because, what was it? One of the guys in my corp, he tried to farm inquisitors and scouts. So he sat in a sector for 4 hours, raising the base level by level, putting it up level 2, level 3, and nothing was spawning. And as he kept doing it and kept wiping out other enemies in the region, he just noticed that after a while, when you reach level 3 or level 4, someone will just come in, basically a bot, and they'll wipe out the entire base. And it's definitely bots because of the way in which they are fighting. They just come in, they fight at weird distances, they take on enemies without taking any damage, and they're out of there like no time. They can even pull up loot and fight at the same time. They have been looking to remove people who are botting from the game. It is mentioned in the notes on the Discord. So yeah, they have been making an effort to try and get rid of them, but that's been another thing that's been irritating players. You take tons of time and you just get whacked out for no reason. Not something that players are going to take nicely. So those are just the basics of what's been going on this week, and this is one of the reasons for this maintenance. So it looks like maintenance is a weekly thing at the moment, and maintenance takes about uh, 2 hours on the official time and an additional 2 hours to get up, which everybody has been noticing, and it looks like they're going to have to start issuing it as 4 hour maintenance. The original SP which they used to give us when they used to take us down for maintenance was fantastic. The 50 and 100, you know what? Right now they may see it as speeding up the game too much, but it was perfect for players. They're offline, they're getting a nice set of SP, they're getting that boost, they're feeling like you've done something for the game, they're feeling like they're getting somewhere in the game. You're giving players something to be happy about. And there was one thing they had perfectly well done in the start. They need to think about doing it again, giving more SP, or possibly even making money off the SP. Selling a SP pack of 500,000 or a million for, I don't know, maybe $100. That will be something that a lot of players might go for, because gaining SP in this game is one of the most difficult things, and catching up with the current player base is going to be a very important thing. And for those who took on the cheap plex in the start, such as myself, to get the prizes and the rewards, you're going to need to uh, try and catch up with the others who are way ahead of you with their additional what was it, 30 extra or 45 extra if you hadn't bought Omega, hadn't bought your skill chips. That advantage was growing massive, and there's a lot of pay to win players in the game. Even though pay to win is only gaining is from the Plex market, right now you're going to find that a lot of pay to wins are going to jump in. They're going to invest heavy, and there will be something fantastic for the game developers to do. Add in some paid SP, maybe a Tech 1 to 10 pack, or not Tech 1 to 5 pack, or Tech 1 to 6 pack, something like that there, to get players in, to get them happy about how they're starting massive packages, something like that there for, the beginner player. Because a lot of players are going to jump in late and they're going to feel overwhelmed by everybody else in the game because they can't catch up. So giveaway packages for that, sell it on the market, would be a brilliant idea for Scope. And by all means, I may not be an official Scope channel, but I know that some of them do look at my channel and have reviewed it, because I've tried to become an official content creator. And I am going to keep trying at it. And your support will help me. If I can get over 100 subscribers, I'm pretty sure they'll think about it more. So if you are watching my videos and you do see it as a potential, and that you see that my content is getting better and better with time, please consider giving me a subscribe. I'm trying to reach 100 by the end of the month to try and get into the official content creators. I have something special planned. Um, the game content is one thing, but the other content is having fun within the game. And one of the things is, somebody gave me a book. Now, the book is a fictional recreation. It's their own personal fictional recreation, and it's a storyline for a commander through Caldari. So they have made a story for Caldari commander, going through the story missions, and okay, it's not a complete book yet, but they told me they're going to make it go through the story missions book by book. Each book looks like it's going to be about, I'm not sure, but currently from the size of his chapters, it looks like each chapter is about 10 pages long. And if it keeps up, it looks like it's going to be something like a 100-page book, because it says it's going to do 10 by 10. 10 pages, 10 chapters, a 100-page book. So, yeah, I might try and use his book to published this thing. He's a fan of a few channels on YouTube, so he said he's used the channel player names to inspire the book. So that's going to be one of the benefits. Name of the author is Muhammad Munir Chafre. Yeah, I have checked out his books on Wattpad. He has one book, it's a bit gruesome. I don't really like the violence in it, but he told me that this book isn't going to be so bad as it goes forward. So I might just think about putting it on. So yeah, there's something to look forward to in terms of content coming out in the next month. And if I reach that 100, hopefully Scope will give me a go ahead to be an official content creator. I can get their permission and we can have a fun book and a fun playthrough or a fun story dynamic within the game. Might even get some people to help me out with voicing some parts. Who knows, maybe one of the other YouTubers might enjoy voicing some parts. We'll have to see what happens. So, yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you for watching.